Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, my name is Awliyaa Zahrahfatin. I'm from English Education Department Class E, Semester 4. So I'm going to share what I've learned from three different podcasts I've listened in this extensive listening class. So in this extensive listening class, I've listened to three different podcasts. First from word of mouth, second from the analysis, and the third from Business Daily. In the first podcast, word of mouth, I listened to the episode of romance fraud. In the first podcast, the the main theme was about exploring the manipulative language used by romance fraudsters to receive into financial and affectional exploitation. I found it interesting because in this podcast we talk about how romance become something not pure anymore because so many people, the fraudsters and the scammers in this topic are person who is trying to manipulate other people into thinking that they are in a romance relationship when they are actually being exploited into uh, a fake affection where they are controlled and manipulated into this relationship when there's actually no pure intention in loving and um, relationship. So, from this episode, I learned that the fraudster employ their deceit, so it would be harder to detect. Like from the words like um, I think it's very good to communicate with you, but today I have no time. So it's like giving time to talk to your partner is a very special thing when you actually can text them or just tell them what you're doing for a few seconds and reassure them. So the opposite person would think that being present in the relationship is actually something so special and their partner has already the intention of giving them affection but can do it when actually still possible to do it. So this is something hard to detect when you are blindly in love with someone. um, they would build trust and connections, emotional connection to their prey, to their victims. So they also often use flattery, shared interests, and fabricated stories create sense of intimacy. So they would make the first days of their relationship interesting, like they would share so many interests and their stories like from the past or trauma bonding, so the partner would feel guilty and love them. So this called actually love bombing, when in the first relationship your partner would love you so much, give you so much attention, but slowly they keep increasing the amount of affection. It keep decreasing the amount of affection. So the more the less the affection they give, the more you are addicted to it into this relationship with them. This is from the word of mouth romance fraud. So the next podcast is from the analysis. I listened to three ways to speak. In this episode, it focuses on about how people use different words of English depending on where they are and who they are with. Dr. Jamila Lee Scott talks about switching between three versions of English. In these three versions of English, we have home English, school English, and street English. Home English is where you talk with your people. For example, you are from Asia, so you talk with your people with English. In Indonesia, we have um, English Jaksel, so that's kind of for the example. And for the school English, it means the English your school teach. This is more grammarly and more formal to use, like for in the business environment and etc. Also, there is street English where you globally use that English from the slang, from um, the phrases and etc. You use these to communicate with your friends, usually, or online. So um, I actually was kind of surprised to learn that we're talking into new speaking different Englishes. It isn't just about words. It's actually from culture and your identity in speaking English. For example, if you are an Asian like me, you don't use English much in your daily, so the way you speak would be more formal because it's influenced with school English. So we would use more correct grammar than the native speaker. This episode helped me understand more about variety ways English, like the street English, home English, and school English. People often judge others' intelligence or worth based on their accent or language style. So if it's not on their standard, they would put them down for not speaking like them when it actually could be cultural and from so many ways. The third one is business daily. I chose the topic is what now in Canada. So it's actually talking about two countries, USA and Canada, and their relation in business deal. So the it discuss about the country in facing a major challenge from new US President Donald Trump, who introduced 25% tariffs on Canadian exports, now postponed for 30 days, and is even questioning the country's identity. But Canada also has a list of problems to address from within, such as rising property costs and new rules on immigration. I found it valuable because it gave me insight into worldwide economic and impact of political issue to economy. So politics in politics in choosing leaders you also choose how the world would work because you're choosing the leader, the representative of your country. Impact of political issue to economy. The episode helped me improve my ability follow fast-paced speech and understand business-related vocabulary like investment, sustainability, and market trends. Listening to this kind of context made me more confident in dealing with professional topics in English. This is kinda get me out of my comfort zone for listening because I kinda used to listen to novel novel audio. So talking about something more important like with new vocabularies would be harder for me, but this is a good exercise to improve my listening skill. So in conclusion, listening to these three podcasts has improved my listening skill. Moreover, listening to something from audio novel, which I have to pay attention, like I previously described and told you that more to certain detail Listening to these three podcasts also has made me thinking of what to pay attention and improve my listening skill even around more people and in professional environment. I think that's it from me. Thank you very much for your nice attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.